Happy Saturday, Jerome's. Now, I was just kicking this around in my head, and so I'm just going to freestyle a little bit of Mike Zimmer is blank. Mike Zimmer is blank. Now, there are very passionate contingents to each side of the fan base that wants to have Zimmer be the head coach forever, as well as fire Mike Zimmer. It's long overdue, all that other stuff. I'm a little bit on the fence where I respect what Mike Zimmer has done during a 6-year tenure. He certainly earned that 7th season with the playoff win over the Saints. But also, Mike Zimmer's going to end up, if he gets fired after next season or not or whatever, he's still going to be up there in the pantheon of Vikings great head coaches. He's going to be up there with Bud Grant. He's going to be up there with Denny Green, especially winning percentage-wise. And, yeah, I mean, he has won 2 division titles. He's had a handful of playoff appearances. He's won 2 playoff games, all that stuff, and respect where it's due. Also, he turned around that 32nd ranked defense that Leslie Frazier left behind. Although Leslie Frazier does deserve some head coaching consideration, I think next hiring cycle, what he's done with the Bills is phenomenal. But with Zimmer, you have to ask yourself this: is he really a threat to become one of the best head coaches in the NFL? Is he one of the best head coaches in the NFL right now? No. Is he a threat to become one? Probably not. Although I love Zimmer. Beyond his gruff exterior, you can tell that he is a guy that really cares. He's a guy that especially the defensive players love to play for, and you just like that old school tough mentality, a throwback to back in the bunker and this. Everyone standing for the anthem, helmet right here, all that other stuff. But with Zimmer, I do wonder if the game, don't want to say passed him by, but it's shifted where he is a fantastic defensive coordinator. We've seen that both here, Cincinnati, Dallas, etc. The 1 year Atlanta with the gutless bastard by Petrino. I mean, that's whatever. And he has revolutionized the defense. But just so many times you think that, is Zimmer the head coach or just the defensive coordinator with the challenge flag? I'm leaning more towards the latter, because how many times have we seen, whether it's failure to adjust in-game, whether it's not showing up in big games, that's the job of the head coach to get your locker room up or have them at least show up to the stadium, which is also kind of nice, or clock management issues, like all these different miscellaneous soft skills that head coaches need to have that Zimmer just hasn't developed over the 6 years. Now, he's a pupil of Bill Parcells, from that Bill Parcells coaching tree. Is he like a dollar store Bill Parcells? I mean, Parcells, defensive-minded guy, except he knew how to press buttons. And Zimmer, especially early in his tenure when he was just calling out guys and pressing buttons, I feel like he did it because that's how Parcells did it, and that's what he thinks that a head coach should do. But also, Parcells knew what buttons to push and what result it would be. I feel like Zimmer is just matching buttons at times. So, the question is, gun to your head right now, will Mike Zimmer win a Super Bowl if he's the head coach for the Vikings in the next 5 years? I would say no. I would say no. And that sucks because I do like Mike Zimmer, and he has done great things here. But at a certain point, I mean, teams just plateau or the message gets stale. And, the Wilfs during their ownership have had a lot of patience. Well, except for Brad Childress, except for Leslie Frazier. But with Mike Zimmer, sure. And every time a team exercises patience, it's like, oh, look at Bill Cowher, look at Tom Landry, look at all this stuff. Well, what about teams that stuck with a head coach way too long? All right, you look at Marvin Lewis, also Mike Zimmer's from that tree as well, where Cincinnati, I mean, Marvin Lewis never won a playoff game. I mean, sure, it was great to make the playoffs. I think they made the playoffs like 7 out of 8 years or something ridiculous like that, which is great for Cincinnati, but Marvin Lewis was never a threat to win a Super Bowl. Or you look at a recent example, Carolina and Ron Rivera. And yes, new ownership certainly had something to do with it, with David Tepper coming in. But, I mean, Ron Rivera had division titles. He went to a Super Bowl, and still, you fire that guy. You fired that guy? And I feel like Zimmer is a diet version of that, where it's like, he went to the NFC title game. He's won 2 playoff games. You're going to fire that guy? Sometimes you have to. And you look at the exodus of assistants, especially on the defensive side of the ball, because that is always the precursor for the head coach getting fired, where ownership is like, hey, yo, bro, something's got to happen, right? So it's like, let's shake up the defense. And, George Edwards, for all intents and purposes, George Edwards was fired. He really was. Where, yes, he was out of contract, but he could have easily been back as the rubber stamp defense coordinator of the Vikings. But yeah, he leaves to go be the linebackers coach of the Cowboys. Yeah, that's a not a lateral move at all. So the fact that Edwards was pushed out, the fact that Jerry Gray was pushed out, especially given the state of the defensive back unit, and you can just tell that they're shuffling the deck chairs on the Titanic, or because the next one's gonna be Zimmer, and also I think Zimmer may have hired his own replacement when he brought in Kubiak, because Zimmer, to a fault, has always been trying to outsource the offense, whether it's Norv, whether it's Shermer, and now whether it's Kubiak. But Kubiak brought everyone. Kubiak brought his guys, his staff, Rick Dennison, Perriani, his son, and now just now that he's the official offensive coordinator and is going to be calling plays on game day, just the claws are digging in really deep. So I could see a really easy spot where Zimmer could get fired in season or even after the season. Gary Kubiak pushes all in. It's like, well, I didn't want to become a head coach because of my health. Well, you didn't want to become offense coordinator because of your health either. But look where you are. It's just weird how the game just grips you sometimes. So I want to believe in Mike Zimmer, and he has shown a lot of good things to believe in, but has he shown enough? I don't know. But I think, there's no airs about it. Like 2020 is all in for Kirk Cousins, for Mike Zimmer, for Rick Spielman. I think all three of them. If the Vikings don't make don't make the playoffs, B, don't make a run in the playoffs, I think they're all gone. All three of them are gone. So to answer the question, the long-winded answer of saying Mike Zimmer is blank. Mike Zimmer is good, not great. Is that fair? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, fill in the blank for yourself. Mike Zimmer is what? Let us know in the comment section. Also, subscribe for Daily Vikings Takes. If you want to support the work, pull us up on the Venmo or hit that join button down below. Become a monthly Jerome. Plus, give us a follow on social media as well. Until next time. Skol. Production value.